Today's video, we will be looking at a scenario where Wyoming forms an empire. So for this to happen, obviously it's going to need to get independence from the US, so the entire US has collapsed, and every state is now independent. Now, realistically, Wyoming would be one of the first states to probably collapse if this happened, because they have the least population. The first state would be West Virginia, because they just would not function at all by themselves, but anyways, they're going to get uh, a massive buff, but to make this a bit more realistic, um, for them to do this, they're going to be taking advantage of a civil war that's going to be happening in Montana. Why is there a civil war in Montana? I don't know. There just is. So Montana breaks down to a civil war, and the civil war is a pretty deadly civil war. Why is that happening? Oh, that's why. Okay, just ignore that line there for now. But anyways, the Civil War is going pretty bad for both sides as they both gain and lose land. And with this, the red team is going to take advantage of this and the invade into them. So they push into this land here and start taking a bunch of it. They also push this way. So Wyoming gets up to like here, and then they start to struggle as they start getting pushed back from both of the uh, sides. However, then Canada decides that they want land all of a sudden. Don't know why they want this, they just decide that they do. So they send troops in and they start creating war crimes because that's what Canada does best. With this, Wyoming is going to be able to push back again as they push up. Eventually, both sides of Montana will get tired and will eventually collapse over to Wyoming and Canada. So with this, they will split this land. And the split will look something like this, with this part going to Wyoming and the rest going to Canada. With this, Wyoming now is a lot bigger than they were before, and they're going to start looking at their neighbors and decide who to invade next. And next, they're going to declare war on on South Dakota, and they are going to get help from North Dakota, who will be the only Dakota after this war. That is why they're invading, to become the only Dakota. So they'll start pushing in along with North Dakota. And they'll push through all of this. And then eventually they will take all of South Dakota. With this, they will split the land, so this will look something, not that color, this will look something like that, with North Dakota taking most of the land, but Wyoming will get some as well, because it's their video, obviously. They're forming an empire, not North Dakota. So they'll get this land here. And now they think that this bit's sticking out without much, with like this just sticking out here looks kind of ugly, so they think it would look a lot better if they took Nebraska. So they're going to invade into Nebraska. That's the wrong color again. Why do I keep on doing this? So they send troops into Nebraska, which quickly take a bunch of this, as they are now pretty strong. They've been building up a lot. They're still not as strong as the Falkland Islands from that video, but they're pretty strong. Eventually, they will take all of the state, and they will... Do they fully annex it? Yeah, they fully annex it. So with that, Nebraska is fully annexed by the Wyoming Empire, which is now looking like this. And you see, Wyoming looks down at Colorado and sees that they look exactly like Wyoming used to look like, so that does not make Wyoming happy, so they decide war. As they just instantly send their troops in right after annexing Nebraska. Eventually they take all of this land, but then Colorado starts pushing back a bit. However, that push does not go very long, as they soon run out, and with this they will fall over to Wyoming, who has become probably like the third strongest state, with California and Texas being first and second. However, with this, they will fully annex Colorado, so now the Wyoming Empire is looking like this. But they are not done expanding. They still have a few areas that they want to go into. First of all, they're going to team up with Oregon and Washington to invade into Idaho, so they start pushing in and get through all this land. Meanwhile, Washington will push up to over here, and Oregon will also push in as they push through all of this here. Wyoming troops will continue going as they push into all of this, and eventually meet up with Washington and Oregon, and with this, all of Idaho will fall over to the three, and now they will split it up, so it will look something like this. So Washington will get this bit of land here, Oregon's probably getting more than they should be getting, but they'll get this land here. And Wyoming will take the rest. And now Wyoming is looking really big. However, they're not done. Now, they still have a few more states that they want to invade into. One of those being Kansas, so they go on Kansas. And they will start pushing into Kansas. As they quickly push in, and Kansas cannot do much about this as Wyoming has become really strong. With this, Kansas will be falling next. And the next state on Wyoming's list, and also the last one, is Utah. So they will start pushing into Utah. However, some states are getting tired of this. So those states will include these three here: Nevada, New Mexico, and Arizona. They will come to Utah's aid. However, another state wants some land, that being Texas, so they will join this war on the side of Wyoming. With this, they will start pushing into New Mexico. And if that wasn't bad enough, Mexico wants some of their old land back, so they're also going to join this war. And now these states are just doomed. They should just give up now. But they won't. They will fight till their final breath as they get pushed in by all of them. And eventually, New Mexico will be the first one to collapse shortly after Utah. This just leaves Arizona and Nevada, which are mostly desert. Also, realistic. Why is this a different shade of red? What? Realistically, due to the desert here, it would be pretty hard to push in to Arizona, but Mexico doesn't care. They're just built different as they push in. Soon, Arizona will fall, and with this, Nevada is just going to surrender because it's better to just do that than get invaded. Anyways, in this peace treaty, Texas will get most of New Mexico. Have a tiny bit will be given over to normal Mexico, who also gets some of Arizona, as they now look like this. As for the rest of it, will be given over to Texas. Nevada won't lose much land, just that here. As for the rest of this, it will be given over to. As for the rest of it, as for Utah, they will lose all this land here, and the rest of them will become a puppet. And also, Arizona will become a puppet of the Wyoming Empire, which is now looks nothing like Wyoming. But anyways, that is going to be where this video ends, as Wyoming has taken all the land that they want. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.